Shabbat Shalom. Last week, Rabbi Strauss discussed the tragic rise of anti-Semitism in this country and really around the world. And he suggested some things that we can do as a community to respond. Last Sunday, the Anti-Defamation League and the American Jewish Committee were among the many organizations that co-sponsored a No Hate, No Fear march in New York City. It attracted a crowd of Jews and non-Jews alike that was estimated to be about 25,000 people marching across the Brooklyn Bridge. This coming Thursday night, here in Houston, the Houston chapter of the Sisterhood of Salam Shalom, a Jewish Muslim women's group, is organizing a No Hate, No Fear rally at the First Congregational Church of Houston. It's open to the public, obviously, and we have flyers on the tables outside. I hope many of you will be able to attend. One of the big differences the Jewish community enjoys in the United States today from just about every other time or place in our history is that we are not alone. The overwhelming majority of Americans stand with us against hatred and bigotry, and that is truly a tremendous blessing for which we must always be very grateful. But we are sadly also not alone in being the object of hatred and bigotry. And that is why I would like to especially encourage our Jewish community to come out and support the African American community next Monday morning, January 20th, to celebrate one of the truly great prophets of our time, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. The Jewish Federation is organizing our community to come together and join the parade at 9:30 in the morning on Monday. You can get the details from their website and sign up there. Dr. King was a true visionary and, of course, one of the iconic leaders of the civil rights movement of the 1960s. We have certainly come a long way in this country since the 1960s. We don't have separate drinking fountains in restaurants anymore. Blacks don't have to sit at the back of public buses. But while we do not legally segregate schools or housing, there's no doubt that our city has neighborhoods that are separated by social class and to some extent by ethnicity as well. It may not be prejudice that separates us, but the distance means we do not always see each other, really see each other, as people with families and struggles not so different from our own. Scientists tell us that it's natural instinct, born of millennia of survival reflexes, that we make snap judgments about things and people we see every day. We see something or someone and immediately classify them. Someone looks different from us. We make assumptions about what that difference might mean. It's not like we can necessarily control that instinct, but if we can recognize it right away and stop and think about it, we can engage our rational minds to evaluate what we're really seeing. The color of a person's skin does not really say very much about who that person is inside. The expression on their faces, though, can often tell us much more. I make an effort to remind myself to smile at everyone I meet and see in their eyes a spark of uniqueness and holiness. Of course, I'm not perfect. I'm not always thinking about this, but I try as often as I can to do that. In the Bible, we're taught that in the beginning, God created only one human couple, Adam and Eve. Our sages commented that this means that no one person can say, your ancestry is greater than mine, because we all come from the same line of two human beings. Moreover, our Bible teaches us that God created man in his image. Each and every one of us is endowed with the likeness of our Creator. We each carry a special spark of holiness. To impugn any human being, to dehumanize any human being, is a sin against God, as well as a crime against their humanity. Dr. King was perhaps the most eloquent speaker on the subject of human dignity in the 20th century. In his most famous speech, King spoke of a dream, that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And as we prepare to celebrate his life and work next Monday, I thought it was worth recalling some more of his inspiring words. I have a dream, King declared, that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that one day little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls and walk together as brothers and sisters. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. With this faith, we shall be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with the new meaning, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring." And when we let freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we'll be able to speed up that day when all God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last." We have come a long way since the 1960s, but the world is also rapidly changing. Technological advances, medical developments, and social communications all are happening literally at the speed of lightning, and change is sometimes scary. Many people are legitimately worried about the future, and when people are scared, they can lash out. They can seek a scapegoat to blame. Fear can turn to anger and resentment, and that is why I believe we're seeing the rise of these various forms of hatred and bigotry today. But I truly believe that we can overcome even this bigotry and hatred that we see today in our world. Good people all over the country and all over the world are coming to finally realize that there is only one humanity. And as masters of our planet, we are responsible for its future. And we can only provide a safe and secure future if we come together and work together to make that happen. And many of us know that on the famous march from Selma to Montgomery, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel walked arm in arm with Dr. King. And afterward, Heschel remarked that he felt that day like his legs were praying. We too can pray together with our legs next Thursday evening and the following Monday morning. When the marchers gathered in Montgomery, Alabama, at the end of the march, Dr. King gave another of his famous speeches, and here's a short excerpt of what he said then. Last Sunday, more than 8,000 of us started on a mighty walk from Selma, Alabama. We have walked through desolate valleys and across trying hills. We have walked on meandering highways and rested our bodies on rocky byways. Some of our faces are burned from the outpourings of the sweltering sun. Some have literally slept in the mud. We have been drenched by the rains. Our bodies are tired. Our feet are somewhat sore. But we must come to see that the end we seek is a society at peace with itself, a society that can live with its conscience. And that will be a day not of the white man, not of the black man. That day will be of a man as a man. I know you're asking today, how long will it take? Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the visions of men, darken their understanding, and drive bright-eyed wisdom from her sacred throne? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed to earth will rise again. How long? Not long, because no lie can live forever. How long? Not long, because you shall reap what you sow. How long? Not long, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Let's join with the good people of our city next Thursday night and the following Monday morning and help dispel the darkness, the fear, and the bigotry. Shabbat Shalom.